Oh, and what a day it is. It is a Friday. It's trying to snow outside. We've got multiple closures from coronavirus. We're going to be talking about Colorectal Cancer Month, which Tanya was in here last week, and I still can't say that word. I've tried to practice it, and I can't say it.
It slid right off your tongue.
Okay, great. I kind of mumbled my word there, so it sounded like it. Before we start, I am going to list off the lengthy... I'm going to read off the lengthy list of closures. I will also read it off at the end. These are just the closures that we've been aware of, that we've been keeping track of. If you have more, feel free to email news@tillamookradio.com. Sadie is the one that manages that email, and she is the one that sent me this lovely list. So... the Birding and Blues Festival in Pacific City has been canceled. The Whiskey Creek Fin Clipping at the Salmon Hatchery is canceled. Crab races in Garibaldi, which were slated for this weekend, are now just going to include the Crab Fest on Saturday from 11 to 5 at the Old Mill Event Center in Garibaldi. No admission is charged to get in. South County Pie Night fundraiser is canceled, as well as this year's Seed to Supper classes hosted by Food Roots. The Tillamook County Library is canceling all story times at all branches. The Glenn Miller Orchestra that was being held at Tillamook High School on March 22nd has been rescheduled to March 14th, 2021. They will be refunding tickets for anyone that does not wish to attend next year's concert, but you can hold on to your concert tickets and they will honor them next year. MondayMusicalClub.com is the website. I don't know what the email is, but I'm sure you can find it on there. The Spring Bazaar this weekend at the Tillamook County Fairgrounds is being postponed. Art Accelerated has canceled their author reading scheduled for tonight during Sip and Shop. The Neatarts Oceanside Volunteer Firefighters Association is canceling their pancake and burnt sausage breakfast that was scheduled for March 28th. Meals for Seniors has decided to cancel their upcoming French toast breakfast that was scheduled for Saturday the 28th at St. Mary by the Sea. OSU Extension in Tillamook has suspended all organized classes, including Strong Women, Master Gardeners, and 4-H activities. And possibly that includes the plant sale in May, but that's a ways out, so we'll let you know as we get closer to that. NCRD has canceled the remainder of their youth basketball season and are suspending swim team practice until after spring break. Funeral services for Milton Phillips that were planned for Sunday have been canceled. If you have not heard the news, all schools are closed starting Monday the 16th through Tuesday the 31st, reopening on April 1st. And the dance studios in town, Tillamook School of Dance, Northwest Dance Academy, and Oregon Coast Dance Center, are all closing on Monday the 16th and reopening on Monday the 30th. I'm sure that list will get longer, but that's what we know for now. So, Tanya, Leslie, hello. Welcome to a lovely Friday.
Hello.
You know what? It is Friday the 13th.
It is.
And it is already proving itself to be an interesting one, isn't it?
It's been a great week.
Yeah.
Full moon, time change, coronavirus,
snowing.
Snow.
You know, I was talking to somebody this morning and they said, have you seen that meme on Facebook that says, like, it lists out all those things and then it says, who's playing Jumanji?
Exactly.
Right? That's what it feels like. Okay, so we are talking March is Colorectal Cancer Month.
Correct.
I really had to think about that, how to say it. And you were in last week for the health center. We were talking a little bit about it. But you brought Leslie in today because you were representing your Tillamook County Wellness today. Yes, I almost said years of wellness. And you brought Leslie in because Leslie is a survivor. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
What would you like to talk about, Tanya? I mean, you're going to repeat basically what we talked about on Wednesday, but that's okay because maybe people didn't hear it.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Leslie, the average age for people with colorectal cancer has predominantly been the 50 to 75 age group. What we're finding is that people in that younger age group are finding symptoms, testing positive. Family history is now becoming more aware of people that have a history of it, just because it's now being talked about, which is what our whole goal is to get everybody talking about it, finding out those family histories, going in and being tested. So unfortunately, Leslie had some blood, I understand, in her poo.
Yeah.
And we had a really interesting conversation before we went on it, which, by the way, I want to repeat that conversation because it's true. We have no problem talking about boobs for breast cancer. We have no problem talking about skin cancer. True. We have no problem talking about all these other cancers. But when it comes to, as I called it, butt cancer, people get a little weird about it.
Yep.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And there's so many people getting diagnosed these days that, it's just something we can't be afraid of. We got to talk about it. We got to get our screenings. We got to share our stories.
So this is going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
So you went to the bathroom and you noticed.
Well, it actually started, I went to my OB for my annual, and, at the end, she was like, is there any concerns? Well, I've noticed blood in my stool for the last couple months, just maybe 2 months, not for too long of a time frame. And she said, well, you need to probably go see a gastrologist just to get this checked out.
Sure.
So I immediately went to the gastrologist. He said I had a 2-year-old at the time, so I was 42 years old, healthy, active, worked out 5 to 6 days a week, green smoothie girl. I'm not overweight.
Yeah.
I'm very
She's
small.
not.
Yeah.
I just had a 2-year-old at this time and a 7-year-old boys, and so I was active with them. But the gastrologist said, chances are it's probably an internal hemorrhoid. You have children, we'll just do a colonoscopy just to rule that out. Thank God he did, request that of me, because it's the silent killer, and there's so many times that people do not have any symptoms. And we can talk about the symptoms too, but so I said, well, my husband's in Alaska because we own our own fishing business, and I said, I really want to wait till he gets home before I do this. So I scheduled it.
That's a lot if you have 2 boys, and because we talked about getting a colonoscopy and the process. And
I was like, I just want him to be here to help with the children or what have you. So this was in June, and I said, let's schedule it in September. And I went ahead and scheduled it at that time. And I came back in September for my colonoscopy. And yes, the prep is brutal, but in the big scheme of things, it's minor.
Yeah.
It's
sure.
one night of
I'm curious, just from a personal perspective, was it really hard knowing, was that always hanging on, in the back of your head, knowing that was coming up and that something might be wrong?
I had no fear at all.
Oh, okay.
I thought,
it's just routine. It'll be fine. It'll show there's nothing in there.
Yeah. I mean, I thought, maybe it's IBS or, there's
an allergy, a food allergy or something.
So many things.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be. They even talked about that, eliminating some foods if it came time for it. So I did my colonoscopy. I woke up from my colonoscopy, and they sit you in a little room to explain everything. And he said, we've found a polyp. It's the size of an orange.
Oh my gosh!
In your rectum, and we'll send it off to pathology, and we'll let you know within the week. Of course, that's the worst part, is the waiting.
Yeah, that would be the waiting hard part.
Don't schedule a colonoscopy on a Friday.
No.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So he said, we'll have to do surgery to remove this, but we'll get the pathology back in a week. And he called me a couple days later, and this was the interesting thing. The pathology came back clear. No cancer.
So you just had a polyp? Or
very
initially.
large.
Initially. The next step was to do a lower endoscopy, which is similar to a colonoscopy, but it's like an ultrasound.
And they only do it in the lower intestine?
Yep. And to see the size, they wanted to get full clear measurements for size for removal for the surgeon. And I did that. I thought it was going to be normal. I didn't even have my husband take me. My girlfriend took me to Portland, and I woke up from that to the surgeon telling me I had cancer.
Oh, okay.
So the pathology initially on the colonoscopy had only taken pieces off of one side of it. They weren't able to see the whole actual polyp or tumor to get an actual good biopsy. So with the endoscopy, they got a biopsy from all angles. I
gotcha.
And it came back, and he said there was, it had grown into the colon wall. So that was a good sign, that it was cancer.
Right.
Which he knew already at that point. So here I am with no family in the room, nothing. I just woke up to be told,
You have
have
cancer.
cancer and you will be going through chemo and radiation.
Oh man.
They will your surgeon will contact you in a few days and set up
So
an
can they
appointment.
not just slice it out? Or they do slice it out and they also try to combat it with chemo and radiation?
A lot of times when you have a colonoscopy and they find a polyp, they will remove it during the procedure, and it's very minor, and then they send it to pathology and you find out from there. This was too large.
Gotcha. That's an orange is the size of my fist.
So that means there's actually blood flowing through it. It has created a tumor so large that there's blood through
veins or whatever in it.
So
it's part of your body.
Yeah. So I was just in shock. I mean,
yeah. How could you not be?
Scariest thing. I mean, I'm married.
Well, nobody wants to hear the C word.
We have our own businesses, multiple businesses, 2 children that are young. It's just.
Did you have a family history of it at all?
Family history of polyps. No family history of. Well, I did. I actually did. I had a grandpa that had colon cancer when he was younger. He did not pass away from that. It was removed. And I had an uncle that ended up having colon cancer also.
Interesting.
But I did go through all the genetic testing, and mine was not genetic.
Interesting.
I had no genetic.
I have to take a quick break, but I want to talk about outside of finding blood in your stool, were there any other symptoms? It sounds like maybe there were, but I want to think about that.
Sure.
Because I'm going to ask you when you come back. Where do you go to find almost anything you need for home improvement? I'll tell you where. Rosenberg's. Rosenberg's has been your local connection for anything you need to build and finish your house to perfection. Carpet, cabinets, paint, electrical, plumbing, nuts and bolts, fencing, windows, doors, and so much more. All those items in one place, but that's only part of the story. What really makes Rosenberg's your stop for home improvement is their people. Their knowledgeable, friendly staff is here to help you through any project. Any question from what paint you should use to how to install a new shower valve, you can get the help you need to do it right the first time. Stop by Rosenberg's today to rediscover what you've known all along. It's better to shop local and work with great people you can see every day. Build it, plumb it, wire it, paint it. Rosenberg Builder Supply, Tillamook. I'm talking with Tanya from the health center and a colorectal cancer survivor, Leslie. This morning, and March is colorectal cancer month, so we're talking about
Cancer.
Poop cancer. I mean, essentially. See, if I can work the word poop in, I'm going to do it. So Leslie, you noticed there was a physical, like a very obvious sign that maybe something was wrong. There was blood in your stool, but did you have any other symptoms that you maybe had overlooked because you just thought like, oh, I ate something weird, or?
Absolutely not.
Really?
None.
Wow.
None.
So it really was a super shock to you then. Like you didn't have any inkling that this other than.
No, not a clue.
Yeah.
But I was also young enough that there wasn't a lot of people talking about it. I mean, I didn't really know much about colorectal cancer. I mean, it's just not discussed.
Right. Well, I think it's I would imagine it's discussed as you age. Sure. Right? As you get into that age, because typically is it 50 and up or 60 and up?
50.
50 and up. Just like when you're in your 20s, you know that there are mammograms, but you don't really start thinking about it till your late 30s, early 40s, right? So, so as a 40-year-old, that's really not something on your radar.
No, I mean, but there are lots of signs. It's a silent killer because there isn't, a lot of it goes undetected.
Yeah.
But, narrowing of stool, abdominal pain or cramping is a sign.
What do you mean by narrowing of stool? Like skinny poop?
Yeah.
Or constipation or diarrhea. Both of those are signs.
Because if you have an orange size polyp in your colon, it's got to squeeze by, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, wow.
Typically. I mean, that's a lot of times people don't know until they have a blockage and are in the hospital.
Right.
But I didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
But I also ate clean. I mean, I ate pretty clean myself.
Sure.
So
is having like a sudden change in the consistency of your stool, like if Man, we're getting real nitty gritty
anything
here.
different or abnormal.
Out of the ordinary.
Contact your doctor. And like if you do like a major diet change, if you are like me and eat McDonald's and you don't eat very well and you don't exercise, and then all of a sudden you go on the keto diet and everything in your system changes and your urine smells different and everything. Yep. It could be diet. However, contact your doctor.
Right.
Do a My Chart question.
Yeah.
Call the office. Do you necessarily need to go see the provider? No, but if there's something different and it's concerning, reach out. I was talking last week to another gentleman here in Tillamook County that's actually battling right now, going through the chemo stage, and he said that he was just feeling run down. Didn't have any energy, was just really, really tired. And he was like, yep, I'm just going to man up and suck it up and go through it. And found out, went into the hospital and had 4 inches of his colon removed. Wow. And it was way, way high, clear up next to the small intestine. He said he may or may not wake up with a colostomy.
Colostomy.
Thank you. Which fortunately he did not have to have.
Right.
But it was silent. He just said he just wasn't feeling quite right. And so he finally gave in and went to the doctor. So any changes in your health anywhere along the line, you need to go in and get checked. It could be something as simple as you have a cold, or your thyroid isn't working, or your vitamin D level is low. But all these things can lead up to bigger things. So don't be afraid. Go in and get screened for anything that your provider, your healthcare provider recommends.
Yeah. And let's real quick talk about the different types of screenings that can happen, because there's a kind of a variety of different ones that are available, right?
Yes, there are basically 3 test kits that you can do. The colonoscopy, which is the most effective, because as you're under, if they do find polyps, again, like Leslie was saying, you can have them removed and sent to pathology.
And you only have to do it how many years?
Depends on what they find. Anywhere from could be repeated every 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It just depends on where the polyps are.
Right.
It's up to the surgeon that does your colonoscopy. He will tell you what's dictated. There's the Cologuard, which is the little blue and white box that you see on TV that is sent to your home. It's looking for blood in your stool, as well as some DNA markers that they have isolated and found that are more pre-existent for people. I did the Cologuard. It is very, very easy to do. They send you everything that you need. Just box it up. You send it right back. And then there's also
then where do those results go?
The result, your provider actually has to order the test kit.
Oh, okay.
So you can call your provider and say, I'm 50. I need to do the Cologuard test kit. They order it. It is mailed to your home. Cologuard works really well with you. They'll send you text reminders, email reminders, phone calls. You've had the test kit for 2 weeks, type thing. They were on me. And so, it was really funny because I didn't take my test kit to work with me. So, I don't eat breakfast in the mornings. I had to wait for a weekend. But they were really, really great. And I got the results back. I mailed it back on Monday, and I had my results from my provider on Thursday that same week. Oh, wow. So it was very quick coming back.
That is very fast.
And then the third option is called a FIT kit, and it's strictly just looking for blood, and it's good for 1 year. So most insurances cover the Cologuard, most cover the colonoscopy. I think all of them cover the screening colonoscopy. Yeah. The state of Oregon back in 2016 did pass a law. So if you do the FIT kit or the Cologuard and it comes back positive, before 2016, if you were referred for colonoscopy, your insurance didn't have to cover it. Ew. Now they have passed and said that first colonoscopy will be considered a screening and not a diagnostic.
Oh,
so
that's great.
It is covered. So don't be afraid to get tested. Yeah. Right. If you test positive on one, don't think you can't have the other done, because face it, $7,000-$8,000 to have a colonoscopy out of pocket, which nobody in Tillamook County has that money. Yeah. So, but I'm very thankful that, Oregon Health Authority got that passed through. So all major insurance carriers are to cover it. So check with your insurance. Not everybody abides by the rules, but there is an OAR out there, and your providers are all aware of it. So
cool. All right. How many do you have to do the Cologuard every year, or
every 3?
Oh, every 3 years,
unless it's positive.
Right, of course. I have to take another quick break, and then we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
Sleep is far more crucial to your health than you may realize. 25% of Americans report not getting enough sleep at night, and 10% say they suffer from insomnia. A lack of high quality sleep can cause grogginess and fatigue throughout the day, but it can also lead to serious chronic diseases. including heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and obesity. Some tips for preventing sleep apnea and other sleeping disorders include quitting smoking, avoiding alcohol, caffeine, and heavy meals 2 to 3 hours before bed, developing a regular sleep schedule, and keeping the bedroom dark, quiet, and cold. Sleep experts also recommend powering down cell phones, tablets, and the TV in advance of bedtime. Adventist Health Tillamook Sleep Lab is designed with you in mind. To find out more, talk to the experts at Adventist Health Tillamook. They are committed to the health and wellness of our community. We are almost out of time. Leslie, what would you say to someone who is listening to this and thinking, oh, some of these things sound like me, or maybe I should go in? Just do it?
Yeah, go in. Talk to your doctor. Don't be fearful. It's a lot...
Better safe than sorry, right?
It's a lot scarier to go through what I went through versus having to take a little test or even just giving your doctor a phone call. It's such a simple little step that can really change your life.
Well, and we've had conversations about this recently, just in relation to not what I'm about to say. In relation to other things, a lot of times we build stuff up in our brain that it's going to be way worse than it is. And so making that phone call, like you said, it could just be because you've had a diet change and started to eat more fibrous vegetables. I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's important to. I mean, I was already stage 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And you had no idea.
Yes.
That's crazy.
At 42 years old.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Me too.
Yeah. Congratulations on being a survivor.
Thank you.
What is the recommended when you're 50? Like 40 is mammograms, 50 is colonoscopies. Is that the recommended guideline?
The American Cancer Society is trying to get that drop down to 45 because we are finding people at such a younger age with the polyps. So there is a recommendation, and it takes forever to get everything approved. But yes, at age 45. So if you do have symptoms, talk to your doctor. They can, and it will be paid for by your insurance if they order it. And if there's probable cause or reasonable signs and symptoms. Is it also, I mean, I know you asked Leslie if it was genetic for her, and I know breast cancer can oftentimes be genetic. If there is a history of that in your family, is that something you need to be more aware of? Yes. Okay. And what they have found is that if your parent has colorectal cancer and sibling and they're
like an immediate family.
Immediate family member, if they're diagnosed at like age 50, everybody else in the family, they recommend 10 years prior. So at age 40, you can start getting tested because of that family history. So making sure that your providers are aware of what your family history is, those kinds of things, because it does make a difference on your screening. And as we know, early intervention is early treatment, early cure. So
yeah. Crazy.
That's why Leslie is here.
I know. It was lovely having you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, here I go into my list of closures for the weekend.
One quick update.
Oh, yes.
So Tillamook County Wellness, of course, is all around the wellness. So we checked in with the health department this morning. There are no COVID-19 cases in Tillamook County as of yet. Please honor the closures that the state has implemented, that the county is implementing. Keep that 3-foot barrier amongst people. Try to limit outside contact.
Yes. Social distancing is 3 feet. And for the love of God, people, wash your hands.
Yep. And if you're not feeling well, call your provider. Don't just go in.
Right. Yes. Fevers. I also want to say really quick, because there was a conversation. I've had 2 conversations about this week. Per the CDC symptoms list, but if you Google the symptoms list, it is a much longer list, but the CDC says it is just a fever and a dry cough or shortness of breath.
Correct.
There is no runny nose. There is nothing else associated with that.
No nausea, vomiting, diarrhea.
Right. So someone actually tried to call me out on it and sent me a Google screenshot, and I went straight to the CDC website and I was like, nope, here it is right here from the CDC. So runny noses are probably allergies, the flu, or just, our common cold.
And we are still in flu season, and we are getting a lot of positive flu tests right now. So
oh my gosh.
Just take care of yourself, stay home, do the best you can.
Yeah, Friday the 13th
Call
is
your doctor.
living up to its expectations here. Hey, ladies, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Lisa.
So here is my long list of things that are closed for the next couple weeks. So if you did not hear the news, all schools in the state of Oregon are required to be closed this coming Monday the 16th through Tuesday the 31st, reopening on April 1st. The nice thing is, I don't know why it's a Wednesday, but the nice thing is because we have spring break in there, at least it's really only like an extra week of closure. Here are all the events that we are aware of that are being closed. If you have more or you know of something that is not on this list, please email news@tillamookradio.com and Sadie will add it. The Birding and Blues Festival in Pacific City is canceled. The Whiskey Creek Fin Clipping at the Salmon Hatchery is canceled. The crab races in Garibaldi, which were this weekend, are now just going to include a crab feast on Saturday from 11 to 5 at the Old Mill Event Center in Garibaldi. No admission will be charged to get in. South County Pie Night fundraiser is canceled, as well as this year's Seed to Supper classes hosted by Food Roots. The Tillamook County Library is canceling all story times at all branches. Monday Musical's Glenn Miller Orchestra concert at Tillamook High School on the 22nd has been rescheduled to next year. It is being rescheduled to March 14th, 2021. If you do not, they will honor the tickets for this year. So if you want to keep them and you want to go, great. If you don't, get a hold of Monday Musical, and I'm sorry, I still did not look up their email. MondayMusicalClub.com is their website, and you can get contact info on there. They will refund your ticket. The Spring Bazaar at the fairgrounds this weekend is being postponed. Art Accelerated has canceled their author reading scheduled for tonight during Sip and Shop. The Neatarts Oceanside Volunteer Firefighters Association is canceling their pancake and burnt sausage breakfast held at the Oceanside Community Center on March 28th. Meals for Seniors has decided to cancel their upcoming French toast breakfast that was scheduled for March 28th. OSU Extension in Tillamook has temporarily suspended all organized classes, including Strong Women, Master Gardeners, and 4-H activities. The plant sale is still TBD, so we'll let you know as soon as we hear about that. The NCRD has canceled the remainder of their youth basketball season and are suspending swim team practice until after spring break. Funeral services for Milton Phillips that were planned for Sunday have been canceled, and all the dance studios in town are all following the same schedule. So Tillamook School of Dance, Northwest Dance Academy, and Oregon Coast Dance Center are all closing this coming Monday the 16th, and reopening on March 30th. You can check their Facebook or Instagram emails and websites to get the latest updates. It's a long list. Ladies, thanks again for coming in this morning.
Thank you,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
Yep, and thank you, Tillamook, for listening.